Hello, my name is Mark, and as you can probably tell by my accent and my love of tea, I'm from Germany. Now, where can I get myself a nice long queue?
Dude, that's British, not German.
What? What do you mean?
The thing you're doing, it's what they say British people like, not Germans.
Really? Okay, just as well. I'm more of a coffee person anyway. So, what am I supposed to be like? Should I drink lots of espresso and wave my arms around while I talk?
No.
Should I be a bit snobbish then and not talk English to people, even though I could, just to annoy them?
No.
So, what am I supposed to be like?
Well, they say you're hardworking and you have no sense of humor.
What? That's insulting. Hardworking, really? Never worked hard in my life. More like hardly working, eh? Eh? Okay, I get the humor thing. Anyway, I'm 30 years old and this is my application video for an apprenticeship for board games. Hardworking my ass. Don't show this to my parents. I thought long about which board game to review for you guys. Obviously not a board game you already have reviewed, but maybe even a board game you haven't even played yet. So you could base your opinion on my review instead of having one anyway. But this constricted my selection quite a bit. But I think I've traveled far enough back in time and obscurity to have found just such a game. It being a former Spiel des Jahres winner, you probably have already heard of it, but due to lack of English distribution, I hope you've never played Reifenbreite. Or as you probably know it, Reifenbreite. In Reifenbreite, you are controlling a team of 4 cyclists racing around this cartoonish track. Though getting across the finish line first does give you a lot of points, it does not necessarily mean that you will win the overall race, because in Reifenbreite it's not about the individual, it's about your entire team. Now the main mechanism is roll and move, and as we all know that's as old as time itself. Actually it's the reason why Adam and Eve got kicked out of paradise, because they rolled 3 pairs in a row while trying to avoid the place with the snake. Just imagine if they had landed on a ladder. Even though roll and move is a quite antiquated mechanic, in this rare case it does not yet make for a bad game. For instance, let's say you have roll an 8, you can of course move up 8 spaces. But all the cyclists directly behind you get to choose if they would like to draft and follow you, which immediately makes for some interesting decisions. For one, it does matter where you move, since if you had moved here, the other cyclists wouldn't have been able to draft, because they wouldn't have been able to reach the space directly behind you within those 8 spaces, since you cannot cross those thick lines. Which in this case would also have meant that you would have left your teammate behind. Now also every player can in turn choose if they would like to draft or if they would like to push their luck and roll the die on their own. Which means that being not in front in a line always means that you're not at the mercy of one single die roll. Each of your 4 cyclists has its own set of cards. Each card can be used as a replacement for a die or even both of them. Which means that your cyclist number 1 is basically your champion, having the most cards. This symbol means it cannot be used on a mountain, so this guy is your best sprinter, and this guy is probably your best bet when going up a mountain. You also have those joker cards, you can attribute them to any one of your 4 cyclists. Another reason you may want to play a card is each time you play a card you can announce to break away from the pack, meaning that no one else can follow behind you. Speaking of mountains, the red part of the track is going uphill and the orange one is going downhill. The rules for it are really simple. The place you're standing on, you just subtract the number that's there or you add the number that's there to your die roll. Which also means if you do not have the necessary cards left for your cyclists in order to assure that you're moving forward, it could mean that you're staying on that mountain for quite a while, which makes the mountain the most crucial part of each race. This wouldn't be a board game from the 90s without an event deck. Each time you roll a 7, you draw an event. This could be anything from adding or subtracting from your die result, or it could even cause a massive crash of cyclists. The game also provides you with the opportunity to cheat, which means that one of your cyclists will pull himself along with a car. In game terms, this means an automatic 6. But each time you do so, you need to draw one of these cards. At the end of the game, you roll one die, and if this die result equals one of the cards you drew, that means that your cyclist has been caught cheating and is disqualified. You can set up the track however you like. You could either start here or here, you could go the long way, or you could take the shortcut and make your race shorter. Each time the first 3 racers crosses one of the finishing lines along the way, they get some points. In addition to the points they get depending which place they make at the end of the race. After everything is done, the points from each team are added up, and the team with the most points wins. Is Reifenbreite my favorite game of all time? No, it's not. But for what it is, it's a really good game. It's a silly little racing game with some tactical and strategic decisions, and most of all, it's just fun. With some stand-up exciting moments towards the end, when you're just about to cross the finish line and you roll a 7, and everyone holds their breath to see if you crash and celebrate when you do. But the excitement is not limited to the end. It starts at the first mountain when the first cyclists have to get off their bike, and you need to decide when to play those cards, when to break away from the group, and how to position yourself so you can get most out of the drafting mechanic. Your team members are only differentiated by those cards, but you really see the difference during the game when your 43 is all the way up ahead, but just in front of him is that mountain and you don't have any more mountain cards to play. And this whole silliness is underlined by the cartoonish design. Anyone who's ever read a comic of Clever and Smart will instantly recognize it, and it's just a fun package overall. And also, it has a bloody game insert. 1992. Fuck hell. Anyway, it's a really good game. It definitely deserves its place among my collection, and I would definitely recommend it. This has been my review of Reifenbreite, and now I'm off. How's the weather outside?
It's raining again.
I better take my sunscreen with me.
Oh, come on, Kraut. You're being racist again.
So spot on.